ZZZ puts me to sleep, so if you're thinking of Zenless Zone Zero, you probably know a bit about Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, the mobile games that feel like console games that came to console. Genshin has some open world action RPG vibes, something to find every couple steps. We have fighting the natives for a treasure chest, puzzles for a treasure chest, gimmicky minigames for a treasure chest. As a non-enjoyer of open world busywork, this open world became quite the not regretted time spender. Top that off with an extensive growing story and cast of characters. There are dozens of waifus to roll for, and a handful of dudes there to waste your pities. Honkai Star Rail, on the other hand, is linear, with turn-based combat where the focus is on the build and making your perfect team, yet still highly satisfying. Bringing up the game in terms of animations and enemy types, a solid weekly roguelike, again with well-developed story, characters, and environments. If the action aspects of the other don't suit you, this is free-to-play retro RPG with peak visuals and style. And now at long last, Zenless Zone Zero. And you can't just win them all. Instead of the lush, expansive zones or highly curated stylish level design of the others, this has plain city core hub and a bunch of really basic combat areas resembling worn down construction zones. Instead of evenly combining story exploration and combat, ZZZ has you run around opening your shop, eating ramen, helping solve traffic disputes, and every once in a while you play a board game and get in a few fights. What it does really right is the combat itself. It is snappy, has great flow, and brings the style of Star Rail into a much tighter action combat experience than Genshin, and that sounds as good as it feels. As expected, character design is also top tier, if even above it, and there's a bit of extra bounce and flirt. Nicole could carry 5 games on her own and she's given away as an A roll, so you know this is a good game. Every character feels different. Between their basic attacks and abilities, you have far more to influence what you prefer than simply stat maxing as you pick up your trio. There's also the feel and flow of the combat pacing. Well, I have fun playing these board game style RPGs, giving a huge shout out right here to Grand Kingdom, a masterpiece tactical RPG, and makes for an obvious potential issue. This game combines slow social elements and busy work with a slow moving board game and reaction based snappy combat. While many can find something to like in the game, the question is, will you like all aspects? Like a roller coaster that spends 10 minutes on spinning teacups before a 7.5 minute on upchuck screamer. The style is an artistically cool ideal, like running an early 90s VHS rental store, and when examining some of the art content, cinematics, and comic book cutscenes, it has a nostalgic vibe. But other times, when walking around in town, you have to wonder if half the game was outsourced to Idea Factory. As for the story, it does not hit the same way. You are a modern good heart outlaw, as your character is a criminal that helps good criminals and good cops in dealing with zones that spawn randomly in town filled with monsters. Whether your task is finding treasures, sting operations to catch traitors, saving innocents before they become chow, or turn into monsters themselves, if there is one glaring issue, it's the pacing, especially in daily tasks. It flips the time allocation, and even the best case session, at most a third of your time is combat, and yet rarely half that much. ZZZ is a fun enough game, but if compared to Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, this one largely falls behind on nearly everything. Though the music and art style may be a step ahead for some, and the combat is the one feature that is absolutely nailed, it is free, so well worth the try, yet while I think there are arguments to be made between whether the best Toyo game is HSR or Genshin, I don't think Zenless even belongs at the same table. I enjoy it well enough to keep with it, but whenever time requires me to drop one of them, Zenless Zone Zero is unquestionably going to be the first to go.